Hello, my name's Ellie Lacey. This is my good friend Lizzie Barrett. I'm just here holding an iPad casually. We just wanted to have a little conversation about dating and relationships. You know how I do. Wanted to invite you guys into that. Lizzie's been one of my good friends for a long time, and she just has really cool perspectives on relationships and dating and now marriage, now that she's been married for a few years. So I just wanted to talk to her, interview her, and share this with you guys. So let's start with, can you tell them how long you've been married to Luke, like how you guys met, all that stuff?
Yeah, so we've been married for, I think, 3 years now.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
so crazy.
I know. Dating and all together for like 5 years. Yeah, I think. So we met in Perth, Australia. We were both doing a Bible school there and with YWAM. And it's actually a really crazy story. Like, the short version is I never thought I'd see him again. And I sent him a Facebook message a year after I met him, thinking he probably forgot about me, has no idea who I am. And anyway, so we end up Skyping and talking, and then finally he came here and we just hit it off right away. We ended up Skyping for 5 hours straight, and I don't know, we just connected. And so anyways, long story, he came here and I met his family in England and we got married a year later. So pretty crazy story.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. I actually knew Lizzie this whole time, and I thought that he was totally not real. I thought he was a catfish.
Yeah, my mom did too.
Yeah, I was like, who is this guy? But moral of the story is, slide into someone's DMs. You never know what's going to happen. You could be married in a different country. So, yeah, it was a really cool story, though, and just to be a part of that was really neat, just to see God's, hand of faithfulness on that. But, so was Luke your list, or was he what you envisioned yourself to be with? The type of guy?
I would say better than I thought I would be with, honestly. I would say I thought I'd be with, some, musician, in a band, or, covered in tattoos. That's the only thing I was thinking. But in reality, Luke is also exactly what I thought in some areas too. I always wanted someone who was passionate about missions work and who was traveled. That was a huge thing for me. And then there's so many things that he is that I didn't know I wanted. I wanted someone who's kind and caring and who's mature and kind of grew up similar to me and had similar values. That was a really big thing in character. So actually, he's way better than what I thought I wanted in someone. A lot better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, this is really crappy quality video. I'm
whoa!
I'm holding it with my arm, and it's very weak, so shaky, bad angles, whatever. Per usual, your crappy quality coming at ya. This is real life.
Yeah,
we scouted for the perfect lighting for a long time, people. It's embarrassing. Anyways, back to the topic. So he was even more than you thought on your list. So what was the best and worst dating and relationship advice that you got before meeting Luke? What was some of the best and worst advice that you got?
I think it kind of goes together, actually, best and worst. So I'd always heard growing up, basically to find your other half, or people would always joke about that, and it was so confusing to me, your other half, you're not a whole person before or something. What do you mean by that? And I think that's actually bad advice. I think my mom said something that was really good advice later on in life. She's you don't need to find someone to complete you. You should be a whole person looking for another whole person. And then together you make a really complete, healthy marriage. It shouldn't be you're a half person, and then looking for someone to complete you. I think that's not a good way of looking about it.
Yeah.
I think that makes, unhealthy people coming together is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think that was the worst advice, is to find someone to complete you. That's not really true at all. But instead, work on things and be a whole person, meeting another whole person, healthy person. So I think that'd be better advice.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah.
And you really did that super well when you were single, way before you knew Luke. just like took a lot of time to work on yourself and like do the things that you wanted to do and live your best life. And then I feel like, like you did everything. Like you really went after your career. Like you did not wait on that situation to happen.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad about that.
Yeah. So kind of speaking of that, like what is something that you would say to all the single people out there, like looking for love, like waiting for love to happen?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like, you know, work on yourself, like work on being a whole person, like I said before, but then also learn how to be a good friend. I think that's one thing I really would be really helpful, is learn how to be like a selfless friend. Learn how to be a really good friend, not just someone who's there when times are great, but also a friend who's there when times are tough. And that's because selfishness is, you know, one of the hardest things. And everyone, you know, but I would say learning to be a selfless friend would be a really good thing to work on.
Yeah.
While you're single.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's really good advice. And what about all the married people out there that are watching this video? Like, what's a piece of advice that you would give them?
I mean, things that I've learned, it's only like 3 years, so I'm kind of new at this, but I would say the things I learned is like choose to respond in love instead of just being angry and saying things that you don't mean. Like choose to respond in a loving way, and then also like don't give up on communication. You know, don't. For me, I don't like always confrontation, stuff like that. Like my natural response is just gonna run away and not talk about that anymore. When, you know, it's important to choose to not run when things are, I don't know, tough or hard, but to still choose to communicate and choose to say in a loving way. So that's things that I've learned. It's not always easy, but it's important. So
brave communication.
Yeah,
that's all around super
communication
good
is key.
advice. Yeah, can't go wrong with that. And friendship, dating, marriage, like I'm sure that's always essential.
I think when I was single too, I could, you know, if I was like not agreeing with someone or just didn't want to communicate with them, I could just be like, I'm just gonna go home and I'll see you again. Where I don't really have that option. And so it's a good thing. It helps you grow in communication, which is it's a good thing to grow in. You know,
like, ooh.
It can be hard, but it's good.
Yeah, that's true. That's really good advice.
Yeah.
What's like? Is there anything else you would say about like dating, relationships, marriage that you wish you would have known or that you would like to share?
I mean, I would say just, you know, really work on yourself again, but no, marriage is really fun. And I think the thing people told me is like a couple different things that was good actually. Like, what if the purpose of marriage is to help make you holy instead of just about being happy? And I was like, I'm not sure if I like that. But I actually think that is good advice. Like, it's not always about just making you happy. And, you know, what if it's about growing together in your faith? And what if it's about helping each other grow? And so I think that's a good thing to think about. And then also, like, someone told us this when we first got married, that, you know, marriage can feel like a big oversized jacket at first. Like, you're like, oh, how do I do this? Like, it feels a little bit big, and I've never done this before, you know? And you kind of grow into it. That's what someone told us. And I was like, that's really good advice, too. Like, it's something you just grow into, and it's beautiful, and along the way you kind of help each other like grow in all areas of life, and it's a really awesome part about marriage, you know.
Get mature and buff. And so you fit into the jacket. So. Well, that's all really great advice. Thank you so much, Lizzy. So my arm and my fingers are literally spazzing out, so it's time to end this video. Thanks for watching, although the quality was subpar at best. That's what hopefully makes it a little endearing, but we hope you got something out of this. Thank you again, Lizzy, so much for your great advice, and I hope that you all have an awesome day. Thanks!